making homemade pizza dough. Now homemade pizza dough, it isn't hard, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it's way better than anything that you could buy pre-made at the grocery store. And it's probably ingredients that you already have in your pantry. So what we're going to do first of all is you need warm water. It should feel warm to the touch, not hot, not lukewarm. It should feel warm. And to that, we are going to add 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, dry active yeast. Now you can buy the little packets of yeast, and those are exactly 2 1/4 teaspoons. I just buy mine in bulk and store it in a mason jar. Then to that, we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar, and the sugar is going to give your yeast something to feed off of. So we're going to stir that up. And let that hang out for about 5-10 minutes or so until it's nice and foamy. There should be a layer of foam on top when it's ready. And it takes a minute or two to get it all dissolved. I'm going to let that hang out and get happy. In the bowl of my stand mixer, I have 3 cups of flour. Now you can use all-purpose flour, which I've done today, or you can use bread flour. Bread flour is actually my favorite because it makes a nice chewy crust, which I personally love. But either flour works, it's just a little bit different texture. And then to the flour, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. And again, this is preference. I like for my dough to have a little bit of flavor, so I add 2 teaspoons of salt. Some recipes call for just 1 or a teaspoon and a half. It's kind of to your liking, whatever you like. So we're gonna let the yeast continue to do its thing, and I'll bring you back in about 5 minutes. Okay, our yeast and water and sugar mixture has now gotten nice and foamy. I hope you can see that. I'll bring it in so you can see how there's a layer of foam on the top. That's what you want. That means that it's ready. So we're going to add that to our flour and salt, and then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Now, you don't have to use olive oil. You can use canola or whatever you like. I personally like the taste of olive oil. So that's what we're using today. We're going to pour that in, put our bowl in our stand mixer, and I'm using my dough hook. And you're just going to turn it on low and let it mix on low until it comes together in a ball, and then we're going to knead it for 5 minutes. And I use my stand mixer on the second setting to do the kneading process. Okay, I'm bringing in a little bit closer so you can see what's going on. See how it's starting to come together and form a ball? It's a nice, soft, shaggy ball. And that's what we're looking for. And once it comes together real good, you see how it's cleaning the edges or the sides of the bowl? That's what you want. Alright, once it comes together really well, it takes a minute or two. Then we're going to increase our speed. And we're going to knead it for 5 minutes. And I'll bring you back once the 5 minutes are up. Okay, we've been kneading for 5 minutes and our dough is ready to rise. I did want to mention that if you don't want to use your stand mixer to do your kneading, you can certainly do it by hand on your countertop. It's entirely up to you. I use my mixer just because it's convenient, and then I can be doing some other things in my kitchen while that's going. So I want to show you what you're looking for. You're looking for a nice, pliable dough. Shouldn't be too sticky. It shouldn't be tough. It shouldn't be, it should all have come together, and it should form a nice, soft dough like that. You should be able to make a nice ball with it. And it should still feel soft to the touch. It's a little tacky, but it's not super sticky. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our olive oil, and I put like a teaspoon or two in the bottom of a nice big bowl. This is what you're going to let your dough raise in. And I just put it in the bowl, let it get the olive oil on top of it, and then I flip it over a couple times to make sure the dough is coated on all sides with the olive oil. So after I do that, you're just going to cover it with plastic wrap and then put it in a draft-free place for 45 minutes to an hour. It just depends on the warmth of your kitchen. Now, what a lot of people do and what I like to do is I put it in my oven. That way I'm assured that it is draft-free. And typically what I do to add a little warmth is I turn my oven on just on the warming setting for like 30 seconds, and then I turn it off and wait a few minutes, and then I put my dough in. So it's got a little warmth to the oven. Some people like to just turn their oven light on to add a little warmth. You do not want it to be too warm, and you certainly don't want it to be hot. So you got to be careful doing that. But a little bit of warmth will make it rise faster. And I think it's a little bit better. It works for me. It's up to you. You just have to try some things. Some people leave it out on their counter. It's just entirely up to you and how long you want to wait. The warmth will speed the process up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put plastic wrap over my bowl, and I'm going to put it in my barely warmed oven for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, just to be a little more clear about exactly what I do, is there's the plastic wrap over the bowl, and then I also put a kitchen towel across the top of it, and then I just let it hang out in my oven for about 45 minutes. And when the 45 minutes are up, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, our pizza dough has doubled in size. I just took it out of my oven. See how nice and smooth that is? We got a nice rise on it. It took about an hour. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to punch it down like this. And you can do one of two things. You can use it right away. It's no problem doing that. You may have to let it rest 10 to 15 minutes, but it's not a problem to use it right away if that's what you want to do. But it develops a better flavor if you wrap it in plastic wrap and let it sit overnight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it back into a ball, get it all deflated, and I'm going to wrap it in plastic wrap, and then I'll bring you back, and we'll talk about what's next. Stay tuned. Okay guys, I've got my pizza dough all nice and tightly wrapped in plastic wrap, and I'm going to put mine in the fridge and let it sit overnight. And then tomorrow evening for dinner, we're going to have stromboli. I don't know if you've never made or had stromboli. You just basically take the dough, you're going to roll it out nice and flat, fairly big, about 18 inches or so by 12 inches or so, and then you put your fillings in it. Traditionally it's cheese and pepperoni and sausage, but you can put anything in it you want. Just leave the sauce out. Fold it up, cut a few slits in the top, put it in the oven, let it bake, and then you slice it in small slices, and then you dip it in sauce, as opposed to a pizza, which you know what pizza is. You roll it out, put everything on top, and including the sauce, and you eat it that way. But we're going to have stromboli. My family loves that, and my son is coming home from college for the summer. I'm really excited about that, and stromboli is one of his favorites, so that's what we're having. But like I said, you can let it sit overnight, let it develop more flavor, or you can use it right away. It's entirely up to you. Make pizza, make breadsticks, make cheesy bread, or stromboli, whatever you like. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. We've got some fun things coming up that I think that you'll enjoy. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. Bye-bye.